My name is Maddie Adams-Terry. I'm a newly married woman with the whole hyphenation situation. Creative director in Flat. No kids, no pets, although I do consider myself a dog mom by proxy to just about any dog I see on the street, so it's cute. A little bit about my video art. And now in my role as creative director, and I'll get a little bit more into those things right now. So I consider myself a little bit of a Heinz 57 when it comes to artistic mediums. I like to touch just about anything and create just about anything. Started at a really young age. I am creating chaos. Oh, okay, perfect. So from a very young age, I started playing with paint, scrapbooking, just about anything I could get my hands on. Started to work through a couple different mediums in middle school and high school, as a lot of us creatives do. And was privileged enough to study studio art at both University of Nebraska, Go Big Red, and Northern Arizona University. My passion in studying studio art as I worked my way through, with ending up in an emphasis in printmaking, was learning these little clicks. I don't know if any of you in here have taken a tactical art class, but you learn things in figure drawing or in printmaking that just make sense, that take your craft to the next level. They're just that little nudge you needed, that little connection you needed. I call it a click, that opens up possibility in your own practice. So knowing that, I decided I can relay this information. I can help other people tap into their own creative purpose, their own inspiration. So I started art education via paint and sip classes. I don't know if you've ever been to one, but I highly recommend it. Either go with a girlfriend or go on a date, but it's a great way to just release, and there's no expectations. So I really love doing that. I taught for about 5 years, both children and adults. Got it. Growing this passion for relaying these clicks, I decided, okay, what can I do more? What's a little bit beyond paint and sip? What can I take this to the next level? I was approached by Coconino County Adult Probation to spearhead a project that integrates both creative vision and practice into community beautification via restitution hours. It was quite a lift. It's not always the easiest to come into a space where you don't know the background. Your background doesn't align with that. For me specifically, I was a college student working with probation clients that I had never met before and had a very different background from. The project was supposed to be 1 year. We were working on 4 murals to post outside of the adult probation building to shift the context from this is a scary, dark place of correction to this is a place for rehabilitation. This is a place for you. I'm proud to say that a project that was supposed to be wrapped up in 1 year with a pretty bow is now on its 4th year of funding. We are working on a mural right now that will actually be visible to those that are incarcerated as they're released from their place that they were serving. So that is my artistic facilitation background. It's led me to where I am now. I'm a creative director at Tandem Collaborative. Right after college, I met an amazing woman. She's in the room. Her name is Elizabeth. And she and I met over breakfast. At the time, I was just a creative wanting to actually create social media for a family friend. And he suggested I sit down with this strategic mastermind and figure out, okay, what am I creating here? What's the purpose of this? I think we talked for about 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours. We lost track of time. She had all of those clicks. She had those things that made sense, that take design from something that's beautiful to something impactful and functional. So I decided, okay, I got to get more. I got to figure out more of these clicks because it's going to level up my practice so much. So I asked her, hey, how do I become an intern for you? Do you even take interns? I'm pretty sure you should. Can I be it? So we started a relationship together as an intern, and she truly mentored me to take my skill sets from, again, tactical to impactful. Today, I'm proud to say we have a team of creatives working with us, and I have somehow worked my way up to a creative director role. We are not a marketing firm. We actually engage with our clients on a coaching basis. So it's, again, relaying those clicks that make sense so that they can then practice it in their own businesses, in their own small organizations, whatever it might be. Okay, that's my background. Hopefully I've earned 20 minutes of your time from a little bit of where I come from. So our topic, corruption. When Laura sent me this, I thought, oh yeah, creatives, we love corruption. We love talking about it. We love identifying it. We love pointing the finger. It's awesome. So I thought, okay, great. I'm going to start my presentation and do something that just about every Creative Morning speaker has done. It's really innovative. It's really unexpected. Oh man, this is killing my vibe. Oh, I looked up the definition. So, according to Merriam-Webster, the definition of corruption is the process by which something, typically a word or an expression, is changed from its original use or meaning to one that is regarded as erroneous or debased, or dishonest or fraudulent conduct by those in power, typically involving bribery. It's the heavy one. Sure. That works. I'll sit too. This will be better. Okay. That was a big thing I needed to read. Okay, great. So any Google article about writing a keynote speech tells you do some research first. That makes sense. That's natural. So I thought, great. I'm going to do 20 minutes of research on the topic, the broad brushstroke of corruption. It left me with immense heartburn and a mental image that looked a little like this. So I thought, okay, I am not equipped to tackle corruption across every industry, across every lived experience, and honestly, across all of my peers. What I am equipped to talk about corruption in is the creative process. And not only that, but creating a win in your creative process. So, where does corruption show up for creatives? A few years ago, I decided to expand my tool set into user experience design and went into getting my certificate in that field. In that, I was able to pursue a capstone that felt important to me. And the first step in doing that is addressing a problem. The problem for me that it was my lived experience and the creatives in my community was, man, how do we make it? Why are we always fighting an uphill battle as either a small business creative, as an independent production creative, as a studio artist, or even as a digital marketer? In my capstone research, I was able to talk to my community of creatives, which honestly is my talented friends that are willing to sit on the Zoom call with me and let me interview them. And these are some of the themes that were recurring. I'm going to read this, sorry. Some of these recurring themes were intellectual property theft. Now, this is a hot button topic, and I honestly, when I started thinking about how I wanted to structure the things that we're combating, AI art was not on my radar. And when it became on my radar, I just became, again, the heartburn came back. It's really concerning that some of these tools that are coming out are able to draw from the passion, the ideation, and the skill sets of other artists without crediting them. So that's something that we're up against. And now it's at the fingertips of anyone that has the internet. Lack of funding opportunities. I don't need to say that to a room full of creatives. You guys know public art is a nightmare to get funded. Unpaid work. Okay, this is a really big one. This one really grinds my gears. I don't know if any of you have had an experience where you're creative, you're new in your career, or you're new in a new opportunity, and you feel like, okay, in order to prove my skill set to this person or this organization or this application, I need to produce something to show them my worth. More often than not, that production is unpaid. Your work, your talent, your skill set, your passion is unpaid. That is so common. And in my lived experience, that's very corrupt. It doesn't honor everything that you've put in to build yourself up to that moment. And the final one is tools and platforms that lack transparency. This is kind of what I want to base the rest of my presentation on, honestly, because this is one of the easier ones to tackle. The more we explore the tools and transparency, the tools and tactics that we use, the transparency, values, and alignment that they have, the more power that we can take back as creatives and choose in and out of some of these tool sets that might be corrupt. At the end of the day, these are all very exhausting. I know you guys know that. If you're creative and you're sitting in this room, again, it's an uphill slope. And some of that is a lot of the corruption that's happening in our industry. So I want to loosen this up for a second. That's all like the nasty, icky stuff. We'll shake that off. What if we could step into a mindset, a tool set, and a tactic set that not only serves you and your goals, but is also in alignment with your values, morals, and pillars that you're setting out to create in your practice, in your business, in your services. Okay, what if we could choose into a mindset and a tool set that puts you as the creator back in the driver's seat, back in the position of power? It's time efficient. We all love that. Sorry. Speaks to your dream patrons and attracts new ones. I'm not just talking about someone that's going to exchange dollars for your work. I'm talking about the person that you want to absorb your work. And creates an avenue for tools, organizations, and suppliers to be held capable to transparency and intention. Again, if we have the choice, can we hold some of these options capable? All right. My husband is a massive history buff, so I had to acknowledge him with one slide, just one quick slide about the history of what I want to talk about. And I pronounced his name wrong last night when I was talking, so if I do it again, he'll probably correct me. Elias St. Elmo Lewis developed the AIDA model in the late 1800s. Okay, cool. What is that? What does that even mean? Who is this guy? We get a lot of guys in history. Here's another one. A is attention, I is interest, D is desire, and A is action. Okay, what does that mean? Well, St. Elmo Lewis, my guy right here, he was actually an advertiser. This was just how he decided customers were engaging with a product, service, or brand. In the 1800s, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm like, they were doing that back then. I had no idea. Today, today we call it the funnel. It's called a bunch of different things. It's called a marketing funnel. It's called the customer lifecycle funnel. It's called a CRM. In some nonprofits, it's called a donor funnel. At the end of the day, I just call it this. It's a foundation set. It evolves with different industries, with different purposes, with different goals. But it's just a foundation of the funnel. And I want to talk to you about it today because I'm a strong believer, and I'm going to have to stand because I'm going to reference this quite a bit. I'm a strong believer that understanding your funnel puts you back in a position of not only empowered understanding, but choice. It's crucial for small businesses and creatives to have a clear window into how patrons and potential patrons interact with their brand, their products, or their leadership. Without the funnel, even the most talented, brightest marketers in the world are just throwing spaghetti at the wall. That's just the reality. The funnel, the power of the funnel, it sounds very sterile. I promise I'm going to break it down. But the funnel allows you to leverage different tool sets in each layer that align with you. So you are no longer victim to the trends that come in and out of style, to the tools that come in and out of your path, to the people that come in and out of your path. You are aligned, again, with what best serves both your values and your goals. So the funnel is 4 different, well, this is a very basic funnel. There are a bajillion layers in some funnels. Sometimes there's a fun little wheel down here. Sometimes there's arrows that shoot back up to the top. This is just the foundation. It's made up of awareness, curious, considering, and conversion. I'm going to talk about it because it sounds, again, it's like, ooh, business, yikes. I'm a creative at heart, so I promise I want to break this down to a space that makes sense for us artists in the room. Zero awareness level, highlighted at the top. This is your stage of your funnel where someone first becomes aware of your product, brand, or service. So I'm very curious in the room, if anyone's willing to share, whether you're an independent artist, a small business, a recruiter, a creative, whatever it is, what is the first way someone becomes aware of your brand, product, or service, if anyone's willing to share? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So a Google search, that's a really interesting concept. So let's say your name comes up in their Google search, and that's the first time they see your name or your brand name. Okay. Okay. I know Lori asked earlier if there's any entrepreneurs in the room. Yes, tell me. Okay. Exactly. I want to push you a step further in that. Where are you having these conversations? Exactly, right? This is, for all intents and purposes, this is essentially a networking event. Not essentially, it is. And we come and we get a little bit out of it and we share community. And hopefully we shake some hands that we get to keep some conversation going with later. Awareness is exactly that. It's the first time someone interacts with you. More often than not, especially in 2023, this is social media. This is where we're all paying attention. This is where we're getting the first, I think I just saw one yesterday. There's a new place opening up that is owned by the same people that own the Little Woody, if you've ever been there. It's a fantastic bar. It's called Night Owl. I never heard of it. Don't even really know where it is, but I am going. I saw the video. They have great cocktails. They have burgers. They have pinball. I'm sold. I'll be there. I saw that on Instagram. I became aware of them on Instagram. And I'm going to keep using them as an example throughout this so you can kind of see how it moves down. It's important to understand this level of our funnel because this is where we have the most options for tool sets. There are a bajillion ways to make someone aware of your brand. Networking is one. Conversation is absolutely one. Someone mentioned word of mouth. So hearing from your friend. Google searching is absolutely one. SEO is one. Let's see, more awareness. Oh, a billboard, print media, a QR code. Anytime someone sees something that either has your branding on it, your name, a picture of your product, something that depicts your service, that is your awareness layer. The reason I talk about the awareness layer so much, and it's probably the one I'm the most passionate about, is because it's where everyone gets hung up. I don't know if anyone has anyone in the room that runs a small business. Maybe you run a small business and you're constantly fighting this battle of, oh, I have to keep up with Facebook ads or Instagram ads. I only got so many likes and I only have so many followers and I need to put content out. It needs to be good content. What content do I make? Okay, cool. I got it on this platform. Oh no, TikTok came out. What do I do? Do I have to do the dance? Do I have to put my product in the background? What do I do here? And it's exhausting. Again, it's exhausting. And we spend all of our time right up there. We spend time jumping from tactic to tool to tactic to tool. And at the end of the day, and this is a generous standard, the running conversion rate just to move someone from being aware of you, they've seen you, to curious, which I'll cover next, is 0.6 to 5.5%. I'll say that, oh gosh, probably 80% of the clients we meet with, the first time we meet with them, they're spending 90% of their time up there. And they're tired because it's not working. It's not making money. It's not moving the needle on their audience. They're tired because they're chasing a little red dot around the room. So if you take anything from this, keep engaging in your awareness funnel. It's important. It's how people see you. It's your visibility tool. But also take a little bit of time and feed the rest, because these conversion rates get smaller the further you go down. So if you're wanting someone to buy your earrings off of an Instagram post, these are your chances. And that's not even your chances of them converting. That's your chance of them moving to the next step. So just keep that in mind as these trends come in and out of fashion, as different advisors tell you to do different things. Absolutely take that information and run with it, because that strategy is always going to change. This is the beauty of our modern world. We're getting new tools every day. And this statistic has changed very little over the past 100 years. So now, talk to you about the next layer, because you're curious. Okay, cool. What's after social media? This is a curious layer. This is one of the most, it's not the simplest, it's the simplest layer in concept, but building the foundation for this layer is maybe the most important and complex. This is any step they take after they first engage with your funnel. So for me, when I went on Instagram and saw, I think it was like some crazy like cosmic glitter cocktail at this place called the Night Owl. And I was like, oh, I got to have that. What's it called? You know, what are their hours? Do they have a happy hour? I'm balling on a budget. what are their happy hours? What's their menu look like? Where is it? I had to click on their website. I engaged with their awareness level content and took it a step further. That's your curious layer. This is where we're getting 0.6 to 5.5% of the people. So if they're clicking on your link in bio, if they're scanning your QR code, if they're haphazardly driving on the freeway and typing your website into their phone, this is that step. You want to land them somewhere that makes sense, right? You don't want to land them on a blank 404 error. This page is broken. That's not a good first impression. So it's important to invest time here. This is more commonly than not your website or your storefront. And I want to say that, yes, I think most people understand that they need a website, that they need some kind of digital presence or storefront presence. Even if you are somewhere like a restaurant that relies on patrons coming in and enjoying your product, you still need that website. Again, that was my next step, especially in 2023. That's what you need. So more often than not, you can choose into a couple different options here. There's tons of web platforms. You can do custom code. You can do HTML. You can do any of the amazing, Wix, Weebly, GoDaddy, Squarespace, any of those. But you want to choose one that aligns with you. With these options, you're no longer trapped into, I got to build my site on WordPress because that's what people say we should do. And then I got to use, the plugins that make the most sense. I have to do this because this is the way it's done. That's not the truth anymore. If you're just looking at this as a blank funnel, you get to plug whatever you want and aligns with you into that space. And that's my point. That's the point of this blank funnel is you get to plug and play. As long as you use the lines, you can color them in however you want. So our next layer is considering. Okay, now this one is usually the most common that our clients don't think about. And this is a big one too. This is, okay, I'm about to make that purchase. I'm about to make a reservation. I'm about to sign on a job if you're a recruiter. I'm thinking about it. And I'm thinking about it. For me, again, I keep referencing my same example of Night Owl. Gosh, I really hope that's the right name. It was signing up for their email list. At the bottom of their website, they had, want to know about our deals, offers, specials, and special events? Sure, I'm in. Here's my email. Here's my information. They now have a face to someone that's interested in their brand, and they can use it. I think I've got a coupon for $3 off an appetizer, something like that. Something to push me over the edge to the next step. This is often the stage that's empty, and that's okay. That's why I'm highlighting it here for you today, because we don't know what to do, especially as creatives, as artists. And I've had this struggle in my own practice on the side as a studio artist. Okay, well, I'm not going to give these people, if they're about to bite on a $300 painting, I mean, what's the halfway there? What can I give them to engage with me? One of the ideas I had was a live stream. You can join my live stream for free and watch me paint. If you're interested in me, join. It's totally free, but it's really not, because you're getting their information. You're putting a face to that name. This is your biggest asset. This is where you know that you have a warm market and you know who they are. For instance, what is your name? Joelle? Oh, Yvonne. That's beautiful. Okay, Yvonne. Let's see. I am a swordsmith. I'm selling swords, and you are a sword advocate. You love them. You go to every Renaissance festival. You're always looking. And at the last one, you gave me your email to join my mailing list. Well, I happen to remember which acts you were looking at in my booth. So I'm going to send you pictures of it all the time. Now, there's some space there, right? We get a bajillion emails, millions, if not. It can be obnoxious. And that's those companies, those brands, they're leveraging the heck out of their consideration layer because you gave them your face to your name and they know. So again, you may not want to bombard people with emails. You may not want to cold call, or it's not really cold calling. You may not want to get on the phone and call that person. Hey, are you still considering coming to my course? Are you still considering joining my program? That might not align with you because you're sick of being pestered, so you don't want to pester others. That's fine. There's plenty of options. There's join my mailing list if you want. Come engage with me in this free event if you want. Choose the tools and tactics that align with you. You're no longer a victim to, okay, my web platform says I need to send out an email today, so I have to come up with something that I need to write because I just need to get it out there because they need to hear from me. That's no longer what your goal is. Your goal is, all right, you're interested, you bought, or you bit, not bought, you bit. Let me give you a little bit more. So if everything goes well, it leads to the next step, which is conversion. We all love this. We all love when money gets passed over, when that transaction happens. We all pretty much know conversion. This can happen. In my perspective, this happens anytime money is exchanged for a service, product, or brand, or whatever it is. Now, in certain funnels, conversion is at a certain level of financial exchange or a certain level of customer engagement. But as far as this very simple foundational funnel goes, it's really when I walk into the Night Owl tonight and spend my first dollar. That's when they've converted me. So as soon as I step foot on their property and spend my money in their hands, they've converted me. This one's pretty simple. But the goal is that we move them through all of the steps, because what we find most commonly, people want to jump from the first down here and they're not understanding why it isn't working. If your funnel isn't built like this yet, that's okay. That's common more often than not. My goal is to show you can expand it and try new things. Try adding in a layer, see what your conversion does. And the way you can watch that is, I want to talk about the impact of that. So the funnel creates choice. Ultimately, the marketing funnel, it's just the funnel. provides creators with the flexibility to choose marketing tools that not only move the needle, but also align with their values. And then setting an example. Us creatives love to be movers and shakers and disruptors. So let's set an example. The marketing funnel provides creatives with a framework for delivering not only a message to their target market of, hey, buy my stuff, but also value. Most of the content that you're putting out there is either entertaining, engaging in some way, educational, or informative. And you're creating value just in them experiencing your brand. I would love to see more marketing like that, other than here's a shoe, it's in your face, now it's flashing lights, and here's a celebrity, buy it. Let's create some value. Let's show that example by choosing, again, into tactics that serve your brand. Thank you. Okay, this is one of my favorite new authors. She's actually a local here in Phoenix. If you have the opportunity to read one of her books, I strongly recommend it. This was the click book for me. It's called Enough. This is my favorite quote from the book. It's actually one of the first lines. Simple does not mean easy. Simple and easy are two entirely different concepts. I love this because what I showed you about the funnel, I just dumped information on you. What I showed you about the funnel is simple, right? It's 4 layers. You could probably tell me what each layer means in theory and some examples of ways you can plug it in. Practicing it is not easy. So to practice it, these are my recommendations. I would sit down and find a good space for yourself, maybe. And for us, we always recommend wine and chocolate. I don't know if that aligns with you or not. It definitely aligns with me. Find a safe space that you can really, truly download some of this information and identify your funnel. So decide, do I have all of these layers? I hope I have conversion. Do I have awareness? Do I have curious? Do I have considering? I don't know. And if I do, what are the tools I'm using in these layers? Write it down, first thought, best thought, and then I want you to look at it. And then I want you to evaluate it. Do I like these tools? And am I in alignment with the leadership of these tools? And am I in alignment with the practice of these tools? And if I'm not, where's the win for me? And then find a capability partner. In our coaching, we say capability instead of accountability. Accountability tends to have I need to get that done, or I'm going to be in trouble. Capability is, you are empowered to do this, and I'm going to hold you capable to doing it. Find it, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a loved one, maybe it's a business partner, maybe it's a coach. I don't know. Someone that you can download your funnel to, someone that understands the heartbeat behind your brand, your service, or your product, and then tell them about your funnel. Bring the sheet with you. Tell them about it. So that as these trends, these tools, these constant instances of corruption are coming in and out of our practice, they can remind you, this is the funnel you set out to serve. Are you letting one tool that's shaking your whole world disrupt your entire foundation? That's where that capability partner comes into play. And sometimes you can be your own, but it's not as easy to see it in yourself as it, especially when you're running your own business. There's never enough time in the day. It's not as easy to see the small choices that you're making to market your own practice as effective or not until you have someone that can, again, hold you capable to not only the goals that you have, financially, growth, whatever it might be, but also to the values that you set out to conquer in your practice. So I want to thank you all for letting me come talk to you. I covered a lot of material today. It's very foundational for me. It's my passion point. But if you have any questions around, okay, you mentioned considering, and I have a very niche business, and I'm not really sure what that means for me. What are some ways I could practice that? Or I think I'm doing it this way, but I'm not sure. I want to say, email me. I'm happy to answer any questions. Again, this is my geek space. This is my passion point. So please email me. I have also created a challenge. If you're interested in pursuing your own funnel and you need again, that capability, that schedule, that regimen. If you scan this QR code, I've created a 3-week challenge, not 30 days, that's 21, on our website, which is tandemjourney.com. And I'm realizing I put the URL on the end of my email. So don't type that in. I don't know where that's going to go. And it starts on April 10th. So we're going to go through 3 weeks of the first section will be identifying your funnel as it is. We're going to walk through that. What is this funnel? Okay, how am I practicing it? And then I'm going to actually walk you through what's a campaign funnel, because they're different. There's your business funnel, and then, okay, how do I apply that to this particular campaign I'm running? We're going to talk about evaluating it, measuring it, modifying it. And yeah, it's totally up to you. But if you need that capability, that push to take it a little bit farther, welcome you to join me. And if not, if you just have questions about maybe some of the statistics to figure out where you're showing up in considering or curious to considering or considering to converting, I'm happy to talk to you about some of the industry standards there to see where you're measuring up as well. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate your candor.